Good day, friends. Thank you for viewing the new podcast, Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches. We discuss such topics as sexual addiction, religious abuse, and recovery. This live platform offers counseling sessions, meaningful question and answer, and a counseling continuum. The team includes Personnel Director, Miss Lolita, Technical Director, and Program Director, Mrs. Tennille. Our contributors, Ray Edwards, businessman, Pastor Larry Brown, Dale Rude, church historian and an engineer by trade, and of course, Thomas J. Russell, founder of King Priest, which is a 501c not for profit program. Also, Tabitha Ward, she's an accountant, holds 2 degrees, and is a mother, and of course, a wife. And my name is Prince, licensed counselor, founder, Antioch Youth Center, a 501c not for profit program, retired. Friends, the views and opinions expressed on the podcast do not necessarily reflect the views, proclivities of Wounded Heart staff. Be advised, these topics can be sensitive in their content and may elicit some viewer and listener discretion. But I want to be clear with you tonight. Our main focus, our genre, our mission statement is to sustain, implement 3 things: forgiveness, healing, reconciliation, which is so needed in Church of God. We can all do our part by praying, acting, and calling in on the broadcast to contribute for this worthy cause. We can all be blessed in the process. Our special guest tonight, of course, we always have 2, and of course, our viewing audience. Please join the discussion tonight with your comments or questions. You can go to YouTube and type in Church of God in Macon, Georgia. You'll see live chat, Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches. And also, for those who want to contribute, you can. You know about our new PAC program. It's our program Anonymous Chat. And to join into that, you can simply connect 877-594-2841. Your question will be displayed, but will protect your privacy and anonymity. So feel free to use that modality. And also, we have a person that's not a stranger around Church of God, Pastor Randolph Hunter, been around Church of God probably maybe 40 years or plus. He's Church of God pastor and husband, father, one of the leading teachers in New Jersey area, also a businessman that he has also too. Brother Hunter, how can people contact you if they want to ask you questions, visit your church, or find out about your business? How can they contact you?
Pastor, just a minister and a good brother in the church though. So
Okay.
they can just contact me by my number 908-917-3306. And I'm on Facebook too. Got a little food for thoughts that I deal with on Facebook. So they can contact me through that also.
Very good. Very good. Friends, as always, we have comments and questions for our speakers, and we're here again to support and sustain forgiveness, reconciliation, and healing. So you can take part in that. But for our speaker, we have some questions for him. If you have questions, feel free to use our chat line. Brother Randolph, some people have given up on the church because of wounds. Any advice for them?
Well, normally, if they gave up on the church, that you don't want to give up on God though. A lot of times, you don't want to give up on God because God's still going to be there for them. God said He won't leave them or forsake them. He's going to be there in the end. So if they feel wounded and they feel out of place, they need to start back picking up the Bible and ask God to inspire them and ask God to bless them and give them directions on where they need to go. The Bible said the good steps of a good man are ordered by God. So they need, they need to get back with God. It's almost like Muhammad Ali and some certain things they coming out of when he was in the war. He came back and he had to train hard and get back into tip top shape, and they want to get back with God, with themselves, and see where God would direct and guide them.
Thank you for that. Brother Hunter, does unity affect soul winning activities? Is unity important in that aspect of serving God as far as soul winning?
Unity is definitely important. I'm just thinking even about on the natural side when I coached basketball, the first thing I tried to reason with the young men, we're all, and the coaches, we're family. We're in this together. When one suffer, all suffer. When you have a need or something's bothering you, we come together and we talk about it and stuff. So you need that. And if brother Pastor Moen, if you was out, me and you were out, and we had a flat tire, and we had a major big truck. If I'm trying to push the truck by myself, I can't do it. But if you come there and push into somebody else, that's unity as far as in pushing that, and we're getting the work done. So unity is all important. How good it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. That's a blessing when unity. There is power in unity. When the men of God, they was in the upper room, they were all at one accord. And then God began to bless. So unity is all. The unity we stand, divided we fall. Without unity, you got a big cake, and now you cut the cakes in pieces. You got a little cake that I'd rather have still a big. Give me the whole roll. Give me the whole pie. Give me everything. And I remember young. Yeah, go ahead. Let me stop there and let you go ahead.
Well, I'm enjoying you. But on a side note, I know you have an extensive background work with young people. I was wondering why the gangs were so popular, and I found out that was like a family. Gangs are like a family, and you mentioned that word family, and
Mm-hmm.
family is important even in the gangs, aren't it? To
Oh,
have a group.
definitely, definitely. We had the Crips, Blood, MS-13, Latin Kings,
Wow,
and
wow.
the Crips, all of them, and someone was on the basketball team. I put one guy on the team, and the mother said, I'm scared for him. I said, well, we'll take care of him. And we had good coaches that counseled, and dealt with different things like that. Even a few times we went to prison for some of our players.
Mhm.
He was one of the young guys was in the 6th Street posse, and being another coach put our suits on and went down, and been an advocate for him. And there was a little old lady said, I'm gonna lock them all up. So she didn't really care about the young people and people in general. But some of the other counselors and some of the lawyers said, we're glad you're here. They needed mentors. That's what they need. But
Right.
so the mindset of the world was lock them all up instead of rehabilitate them and stuff. And this guy, he was in the 9th grade playing varsity basketball, and he was great at it. But the streets were calling too at
Mhm.
that time.
And of course, the gang members, they offer that family structure and that
Oh
love and
yes,
that
definitely.
and
Yes,
the
yes,
protection. Mhm.
yes, yeah.
And
I
that's what's
had
so
I
important.
had
I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
yes, I
Please.
had an incident when the Latin Kings and the MS-13, they was in the gym getting ready to get it in, to get ready to fight in the gym. But
Mhm.
the chief one was for the Latin Kings. He was probably what you would say the Duke of the school. And I called him on the sign. Y'all know y'all can't do nothing in here. And we're not going to do. This is my domain. And and I got on him and different things. I said, ain't nothing going to happen here, because the first one, I'm gonna break it up. I'm gonna put you in the old hunter claw, and then I'm gonna have you arrested. I was just talking to scare whoever starts something. I'm gonna break it up, and I'm gonna put you in one of the moves where you can't get out of it, and I'm gonna have you arrested. Just talking to him. And so I said, what we gonna do? Let's play a little soccer game. So there was like rivals in soccer. And what I did is mix the teams, and then y'all gonna mix it, and then y'all play against each other. And then I took the leaders out of the gang and I called them on the side. Now I'm been counting on y'all. I appreciate you, and you're going to be my locker room monitors, and y'all need to take care of that. And they stopped. All they wanted some love and attention, and it was okay after that. Though. And now when I walk to Plainfield, I see them in Plainfield. I can't go nowhere in Plainfield without them stopping me. And one of the Latin Kings uncles died, and then one of the young guys, he's a kingpin in the Latin Kings, and I end up going into their dinner thing, to give regards to them, and they treated me like a king. Hey, that's Coach Hunter, that's Mr. Hunter. Gave me food and gave me more food, and then other ones different. That's Coach Hunter here. So all they're looking for is love and attention.
And I think many people who've been wounded in church want that same love and attention. Do you think so?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. They want the same thing, love and attention. And that's what love, a multitude of, with love, it covers all those sins and all of the things. And you win people over by love, and they really know. People know if you do or not. It's just within them. That young man really loves me, or he a teacher. They don't care about us, but they know those things. And many years I had to fight for the young people. We had mold in the gym, and the locker rooms, rust and different things. The water, taking the showers is messed up, and it was like 15 years, and finally they end up doing it and end up getting it done. But they definitely want love though. And then I can go anywhere in Plainfield, and if somebody would mess with me, they would tell Mr. Hunter, you want me to take care of that? No, that's don't even worry about it, because they would kill them or they would take care of it.
Wow.
Brother Hunter, I know you had a burden for some young people who feel disenfranchised from the Church of God. Maybe they've been hurt, not attending anymore. What would you tell that young person who's listening tonight, who feel disenfranchised from the church? What is your advice to that young person who kind of got off and not serving God the way they ought?
First thing, pick that word of God back up, and then they could reach out to somebody like you, me, different, reach out, and we can, talk with them. We'd be glad to talk with them, counsel them, have a Bible study or whatever they would want to do, or just go out there and talk, try to encourage them to come back to God though, because when it all's boiled down to it, it's going to be you and God, the individual, you and God, draw nigh to God, and God's going to draw nigh to you. If you don't when you do that, God begins to open up doors, and it begins to help them, and they can be back on track. You might be off track if you got disenfranchised. I would ask them, did God ever disenfranchise you? Did God ever do anything wrong to you? All right, so get that word back in and be inspired by the word and get motivated by that.
Director,
they can give me a call at any time. They can call me at any time, because a lot of times I do see, some of the times encounter with some of the young people and go out to dinner with them and encourage them.
Brother Hunter, I'm sorry.
No,
please.
I was just going to answer your question. I'm sorry. There's no questions at the time.
Brother Hunter, isolation is not a good thing when you're hurt, is it? To get by yourself and just be by yourself and, kind of isolated. That's not a good practice to get healing.
Isolation is the worst thing that you can do, because the enemy, even with Brother Pastor Moon, even with us, if we just get isolated, anybody isolated by themselves, then the enemy, like the idle mind is a workshop of the devil. There's even sometimes when I'm here from not busy, not moving, not reading, just isolated, the devil will bring thoughts, suicidal thoughts, kill yourself, and all kinds of thoughts. And we got to cast down all those things and bring it into captivity. A lot of young people, they're isolated, and the enemy's really working that mind. Get outdoors and exercise, get a good meal, get vitamin D from the sun, and they need to get out and walk and do things. Talk to your friends, get out, or talk to somebody, because a lot of times with isolation, it begins to be a pressure cooker. You got so many things that you're locked in, and you're scared to release it and tell people, and then you gotta open up and tell somebody, tell people those things. In a lot of cases that I always had, even in the Church of God, couple of ones that was isolated had different schizo personalities, and they would call, and I would just talk to them. And one of the greatest things is a listening ear. There's a book out called The Counsel. And a lot of times, all they want to do is somebody listen to them. And as you listen to them, give them some encouragement, some food for thought or encouragement as you listen to them.
Friends, if you have questions, Please bring him in. Our time's running out. Brother Hunter,
I had a
expand on that. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I had a question as Brother
Please.
Hunter was going. I thought of the phrase misery loves company.
There you
And
go.
a lot of, young people,
Yes.
I mean, me myself as a young person, how do we know who to trust? In that type of environment when you're isolated, you tend to listen to those that are maybe, in the same boat as you are or in the same type of mind frame that you are. So how do you know who to trust or who to talk to in that frame of mind?
Good question. Good question.
That's a great question. So actually, sometimes you don't know who, or then sometimes you might have a old, like a old brother Moore, or different saints, or different brothers in the church or sisters in the church that you were close to, and you probably could, linger or call them. And then sometimes, God will lead you and guide you to a person. Sometimes somebody just call you up. Oh wow, I was just going through that, and then you call. So, and we would have to have intuition on it though. So that is a good question though, But certain ones that you had favor with, and a good relationship, you probably still and you trusted them, you still could be able to trust them and call them.
Brother, I need to expand on that a little more because isolation has an effect on how you think, how you feel, diet. Expand on that some more, please. Isolation, how that can have a negative effect on our
Well,
behaviors and ideas.
I, even dealing with isolation, a lot of times you become suicidal, and a lot of people are killing themselves from isolation. We had a police officer about 2 weeks ago. He moved from Plainfield to Georgia. He was isolated and ended up killing himself. Another police officer was a friend of mine years ago, isolated and ended up committing suicide. So a lot of things, because the devil comes. The Bible said he has but a short time. He's bring about great wrath because he knows, but he has a short time. So when you isolated, that's dangerous though, because you're feeding all kinds of thoughts are coming to your mind, and some of the times you're listening to those things and stuff, and you're losing weight. You feel you just self-esteem becomes very low self-esteem. You don't feel good about yourself. So that's bad though, to be isolated. You always need to have a good friend that you can get all of those. It's like a pressure cooker to get all those things out and communicate and talk with. You always have I need a good friend. Sometimes all of us need a good friend. Well, let me call Brother Moon. Let me call Brother Moore. And let's just talk, and encourage one another and stuff. That's why it's good. In the latter days, we used to get together and have a brothers prayer meeting on
Right.
Saturday.
I
And a
remember
lot of the
that.
brothers, they were
Right.
going through
Yeah.
major problems, and then they'll feel free to let it out and say things that they wouldn't tell anybody else. And then we would pray about it and stuff. As even in the prison system, a lot of isolation, and then in prison ministry, a lot of guys at the altar, they'll tell you some horror stories, and these guys are intelligent and nice, but the things that they're going through. Yeah. So
Brother Hunter,
that's definitely.
when you all used to meet and share after you got done, how did you all feel when you got done sharing together like that?
We felt great. We felt great. Sometimes we praising God and jumping and leaping and having a great time. We felt good, relieved, and felt empowered and encouragement and inspired. Now let's go out and win souls for the kingdom, and let's go do something. We felt good, and even at the meetings, at the different meetings, the different campgrounds, a lot of times the young brothers. I remember one time we stayed up all night and prayed
Right.
and talking about sanctification and reading the Bible and talking,
Right.
and got up the next day, and everybody was inspired that was in the room, and we felt good sharing scriptures with each other, encouraging with each other, motivating each other, stimulating each other. And different books we had, the church had the bookstores and different things, and buying different books and sharing different books. So we felt great after that though, refreshed.
Our last question. Brother Hunter, why does the devil like division? Evidently, he enjoys that. Why does he enjoy that and put so much energy in division? What is he getting out of it? I need help on that. Please guide me.
Well, division brings about a great split. and divided, he feels he can conquer and do more damage divided. Now, if me and you, we bosom buddies, I knew you for years, I knew you for 50, we grew up from kindergarten and stuff. We had our little ups and downs and stuff, but we always was connected and stuff. We cried on each other's shoulders and different things. We apologized, and now it's power in that. We had a good relationship, studied together, different things. Now he said, if I can isolate these two brothers and they're doing some great things for the kingdom of God, if I can isolate them and split them and divide them, then now they can go one-on-one, work on one-on-one. Instead of one to chase 1,000, two to chase 10,000. I don't know how many, 3 or 4. So I guess you could do the math on that. But it's good though not to be isolated though. And then the split, when you split people, the power, you lose a lot of the power.
Friends, we have to conclude our broadcast tonight. Brother Hunter, you've got to come back next week. I want to hear some more about isolation and the danger of it, if you would, please.
Okay. Yes,
this podcast is by Church of God friends for Church of God. Most of us have been affected on some level by levels of division, but we can do our part to find ways to implement those 3 areas: forgiveness, healing, reconciliation, because you can't have one without the other. So we thank Brother Hunter tonight for his insightful perspective on this subject. Our viewers, thank you for listening. We're doing over 150 folks each week. Thank you for that. 2 weeks ago, there was about, I think, 300 listening. So we're glad about that. For our staff at Wounded Heart, thank you, working so hard. And we want to see you next week at this same time. May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Amen.
We love y'all.